Hi. So if we want to add motion blur to our videos in Premiere Pro, this is a way you can do it. So I have some drone footage here. I opened a new Premiere project. I imported my footage. I'm just going to drag it into the timeline to create a sequence. And we have some drone footage here. And maybe this is the part where I want to cut it. And this is a nice pan. So I'm going to cut it right there. Okay, this is what we're working here. And maybe we want to add some sort of blur, either motion blur, or we want to blur out maybe like these trees, or we want to blur out the edges, but what any type of blur you want to add. You go to effects, you type in blur, and there are different kind of blurs in Premiere Pro. So there is camera blur, directional blur, Gaussian, there should be, camera blur. Camera blur is kind of the best one, but it takes up a lot of your GPU. Camera blur can give you very nice blurring because it kind of simulates how the blur happens inside of the camera, and it doesn't give you like artificial looking blur. It just gives better blur. So if we want to blur, you just apply the effect, and here you can animate the blur. So if we increase this, it's obviously going to be more blurry. If we decrease it, it's going to be less blurry. If we want to add blur in the motion, you can just click this little icon. You can drag it into the timeline, and then you increase it to something like 10. You move to the timeline, you can decrease it then. You can move more and maybe add it back again. So what this is going to do, it's going to go from 0 to 10, and then from 10 to 0 very slowly, and then again back to 10. So just play around with the motion of your clip and how you want to animate your motion blur. Make sure that it corresponds with the motion. It doesn't correspond with the motion in this clip because we have a pretty slow drone panning shot and there's no motion blur here. But if you have some fast shots that you shot at a high FPS rate, you're going to need to add some artificial blur or depth of field or any kind of that stuff. Hope this helps and enjoy.